spring has truly sprung and we're making the most of this lovely weather to go and visit the Great Bear Observatory. This is my friend Lawrence's observatory. He's got a wonderful setup. He's got a 10-inch Orion Optics Astrograph on top of a Paramount MyT, all inside the SkyShed pod. But before we do that, I'm going to put out a call for help. As you know, we started Refreshing Views, or we started in earnest last year, and we've now reached the dizzy heights of over 1,000 subscribers, which is absolutely fantastic. So thank you for all your support. It's now at the point where Google, who own YouTube, will share a cut of those annoying ads that appear at the start of each video. And although that won't obviously pay for a setup like Lawrence's, it will help fund the inevitable costs like new memory cards, a better microphone, lighting, all the stuff that I'm currently paying for myself. So however, the problem is my application for these ads was rejected, and despite weeks of effort I simply cannot work out why. And the problem is there's no way to reach out to Google. You simply cannot contact a help desk to sort out any of these problems. It's a black hole that does not make contact with the outside world. So if anyone knows who or how to contact at Google or can push them on the socials, then please do. I am at my absolute wit's end and be really grateful for any help. It all helps fund the channel, it helps buy the kit. I'm not going to be a millionaire from this, and it helps inevitably bring more videos to you guys as we explore the night sky. So right, that's enough of my problems. Let's head over to the Great Bear Observatory, and if you want to see more videos as we explore the night sky, then please hit the subscribe button. You're supposed to be big fierce guard dogs, aren't you? Big fierce guard dogs. Big fierce guard dog. Oh, you just lit the lens. So what do you call your observatory?
Great Bear.
The Great Bear. The Great Bear.
That was Bear.
So behind this beautiful hedge and inside is a Lawrence, a Paramount and a 10-inch Astrograph. With some reason the camera is on the wrong side again, isn't it? You've still got the focuser on the wrong side.
It's all coming down.
So Lawrence has kindly let us come around and have a look. Look at this. So you can't do this if you've got a bad back though, can you? You're getting in and out of that little doorway.
It's not ideal, no. 8 foot, I think, in the middle. But...
Good stuff. So how long have you had this for, Lawrence?
This has been about 5 years now.
So you start off with your 8-inch. So rather than struggle onwards, you went for, you know, just a little off the shelf, a little bit of hardware.
I was lucky enough to come into a few pennies from an auntie, and yeah, I bought the Paramount.
And then someone in the club, if I remember rightly, was selling the 10-inch Astrograph.
This was also pre-loved. So I borrowed it to try it out, which turned into 6 months. So then we came to a deal and I kept it because it was just superb.
It is a beautiful looking setup. So what sort of astronomy or what sort of observing or imaging, what's your rationale? What do you like to do with...
You just enjoy it. I'm a pretty rubbish astronomer straight.
Pretty rubbish. I mean, that's harsh on yourself.
But it's just time really. So enthusiastic just when time allows. But I got to the point where pulling the Skywatcher out and setting up and all the rest of it used to take hours, and then you'd get fed up or too late or it'd cloud over and you just chug it all back in again, and it was either get one of these or similar, or that was it, game over. So
it does make such a difference though, doesn't it, having that, the ability to just go at a moment's notice.
Flip the lid. So these are unusual because these are, I think it's Canadian. Get this right, it's Canadian. So it's a guy called Wayne Parker, who's actually a rock guitarist, who did these things back early 2000s to be portable to go to star parties, as you do. But they're good permanent observatory.
When you say, I mean, you're a tall chap and you're standing up there on the floor, I know slightly taller than I am, and I can't imagine these are very portable. But I suppose you've got a big truck.
Yeah, they're lightweight. But
they all cleverly clip together, don't they?
Yeah, there's only a few bolts. I wouldn't, frankly, I wouldn't want to take it to bits and move it around more than once every few years, but they do, apparently. But it was, looked at all the observatories.
Yeah.
You've got your pulsars and you've got your build your own roll on, roll off, and all that kind of stuff. And I saw these, and I quite like them. And one came up in Newcastle.
So if I remember rightly, then when you said you were looking out for one of these, you went all the way to Newcastle with a van.
Don't say that. I know what you're going to say next.
And what else happened the week after you turned up for?
There was one that turned up in Salisbury, which is 15 miles down the road. I know.
So you drove for 10 hours to go and get.
Yeah.
And then one was an hour away.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, like buses. And even worse, it was green, which my wife would have preferred. And it had 2 of the bays, I think, or something like that. But anyways, I bought this by then.
So you're nicely set up. But for what it is, it's so robust though, isn't it?
Yeah. They've got 2 problems, really. One is that the hinges, despite what anyone says, do not seal. Hence the cunning ice cream tub, which catches the water coming in and then sends it straight back out again. So there's one here and one there. And I've never found a way of sealing the hinges.
So your guttering is on the inside?
Yeah. And then zenith. This is slightly offset, but you've got to be careful with a big tube. You can't go too far forwards. So you have a zenith problem.
Oh, so when you're looking up at the zenith, the lid is in the way.
You know, you kind of got that far. So you can get a kit or make your own thing. Get rid of these clamps, and then you can push the whole thing back onto basically a shelf, which.
Ah, so you didn't see the whole sky above your head.
So one day, that's another project. And as you can see, they've just about got to the end of their life on these roller skate wheels. So I've got more of those coming. So that one was replaced, and that one's.
Oh, that's a nice new one.
Yes, these original ones I've just noticed it this year. They've just had
the damp's just got to them, hasn't it?
They've had a hard winter.
But then if they're outside in the elements, they've done very well to last. Was that 5 years you've had it? Plus you bought it second hand.
Yeah,
so.
It was 5 years before that, probably. Yeah.
So 10-year life's not bad.
But it's nice and warm inside, little microclimate. This is all hollow, so it's fairly well insulated. You don't get any condensation, which is great. So there's no drippy dome. I've got analog dehumidifier because there's no permanent mains power, which works fine. This is on a wooden decking, although the pier goes through to concrete base, just because the garden slopes a little bit, so it was easier than laying a load of concrete down. And then you kind of get natural ventilation and water runs off, which is great.
So let's talk through the telescope then.
Orion Optics AG10.
AG10.
So that's 3.8, I think. F3.8. So
nice stubby short tube then.
Yeah, nice big light bucket. Do
you think the focus is big enough on that?
Yes, yeah, so that's got a Win coma corrector that comes with it from Orion Optics. That's a 3-inch.
So a huge field of view, flat field of view for the camera.
And then there's ZWO 294 MC.
Nice.
Colour.
Is it called?
It's called, yeah.
So it's called, so it's all.
So that was a treat to myself. Then the Paramount MyT, which is the smallest one they do, would you believe? Which again.
But that carries out with ease, couldn't you? You could swing your car around on the end of that without.
It's just nothing. It's just featherweight compared to this thing. This is brilliant. The SkyX software that comes with it is a little bit of a learning curve. I do have a pole.
Here it goes.
That's the dogs. I do have a rather nice pole master.
Oh, sorry, I keep on forgetting to bring that back to you. And I've still got your memory card you let me when we're photographing the moon. So I must get that back to you.
That's really good. But this thing does polar alignment itself, which is quite good through the camera. The pier, I made the pier. I had the parts cut to length and shape, but I welded all that up, and it goes down a bit onto the concrete. Because I can weld, so why not? And it was a lot cheaper. So laptop and display, a little red lamp and stuff, and I use with this now it's the SkyX, the software beast. But before that, and I'm going to start going back to that, was SharpCap.
Oh yes,
which I love. Good old Robin Glover, hello. And Carte de Ciel. And that was it really, but learning to use this with the SkyX. I've got no guiding on it at the moment because I don't need it. but I have got guide scopes and all the other bits and bobs.
That's the beauty of having a Paramount, isn't it? You don't need...
Yeah, you do the T-point thing, which is a bit limited because I don't have much window, but a full T-point set, and it's all aligned.
So when you're observing, how do you set up that? What do you roll the roof back, or not roll the roof back? You flip the lid back.
So I have to run power because it's not permanently powered. So I have to run the cable through and power it. Flip everything up, get the roof back, make sure it's not too wet or anything. Power the mount up, and it'll home. And then I just pick a target, which is whatever is presenting itself up there is about the list. Because I've got a limited window.
So that's due west, isn't it? West.
It's pretty much
overhead
west.
and west, isn't it? Is what you get, isn't it? Here with the trees.
So I've got enough view to get to Polaris for the Polemaster, just about between the trees, and then generally westish above the house. So off towards Salisbury Way.
And you stay with the telescope? You're not one of these guys who rushes, sets up and then rushes back inside?
No, I get it. I get the image. I only image sort of 30 to 60 seconds for about an hour tops, and then generally I will just get the binos out or get the old planisphere out and just try to gen up on it's a Phillips, no Collins. It's a Collins planisphere.
So that's how you're learning the constellations, just by dialing in the date and time,
and just looking
and trying to work out what you're looking at. Yeah. So the telescope's clicking away, the camera's clicking away, the telescope's tracking.
Just look up,
and you can carry on observing. Yeah. Glass of wine in hand.
Yeah, pop in to get a coffee every now and again.
Do the dogs come out and join you? Do they?
Well, Bear used to frighten the crap out of me by appearing
in the doorway.
The doorway, jet black retriever. But no, the dogs don't. They'll come out every now and again, but generally not.
There's a wasp terrorising me at the moment. It's obviously looking for somewhere to set up home.
That's him. Hello, wasp.
Wasp is definitely looking for somewhere to go and live, isn't it?
Yeah, you do find. I mean, I guess like everybody else, you find spiders and ladybirds and all kinds of things set up home that you have to be careful of.
So you've got one of the bays down there, haven't you? That's where all your laptop is, so that keeps it out the dew, and then you've got enough space to sit, because there's not a lot of space in there.
No, you end up sitting on your little stool.
So you have a...
sitting on your little stool, so it can get a bit cramped.
So you're in the yoga position down there, aren't you?
I mean, when this thing swings around, it's quite intimate.
So you have to duck.
Yeah, I don't do meridian flips because I'm on this side of it, fortunately, but I have inadvertently T-pointed it at something that I can't see and been chased around the observatory by this thing.
What, you're sort of shuffling out the way?
Yeah, trying to get the cables out the way before it pops something out, so that was fun and games. But it is a bit tight at times, so I get this side pretty much, and then sat down there, and then sit on the little front porch.
So the beauty of this, beauty of the observatory, of course, it's easy to set up, affordable. You just need to put the flooring in, and it comes on the back of a van or a lorry.
Yeah, you can't get them anymore. It used to be, I think it was from Altair Astro, but they don't. I don't think anyone in the UK imports them anymore. It's just too expensive.
Gotcha.
With freighting and stuff, so they're unusual.
So
but like all of them, they're a bit constrained in certain ways.
So what? So I mean, obviously they're easy to use and set up and all that sort of thing. What don't you like about it then? What would be your advice if someone else was thinking of getting one?
Just be careful about the whole zenith thing.
So this is where your pier is underneath.
Yeah, and there's not much. I mean, you can't go too much further forward because then your tube bumps into things. This is a little bit off centre, but not a lot. But yeah, if you can, when this thing spins round, so whoops, it says chasing you. So you can get your 360, but you're a bit limited.
You can't get the overhead.
Zenith. But so yeah, I'll get one of the tables at some point.
And then roll it back.
But other than that.
And what do you think of the telescope? The telescope looks beautiful, doesn't it? That carbon fibre and all the...
I think it's a much better telescope than I am astronomer.
When your kit exceeds your capabilities.
Yeah, all the gear and no idea. No, it's lovely. It is lovely. I mean, I like Newtonians.
Well, they're the best sort of aperture, aren't they, for the pound or the dollar?
Biggest bang for your buck kind of thing. Yeah. They're not too troublesome. I mean, I don't have dew or condensation problems with that thing out here.
Even under our damp climate, that's quite good going, isn't it?
Yeah. The only thing about them is I don't like them for visual because you never quite know where the eyepiece is going
Of
to turn
course,
out.
yes.
Other
On an
than-
equatorial mount, yes.
Yeah, other than it will be somewhere you cannot put your eyeball.
Yes.
So no, they're not. I don't think they're particularly great for visual. Not the most user friendly, but.
So am I right in saying that when you started off, you had your 8-inch?
Well, the first one I actually had was a little Meade DS something or other. It was like a 75mm or 90mm refractor on a little Altaz, which was just plonk and swing around.
So that was the easiest, simplest way to observe.
Yeah, that was great. I mean, at that time, I don't know quite what year it was now, but all the planets are out. So, you know, it was Planet Fest, and you could see all the really
The best
exciting
kind of
stuff.
astronomy, obviously, yeah.
And then it was the usual bigger and better, or bigger and
Yeah.
better one. And it had some motors on it, which never really worked. They're more of a gimmick than a real thing. So then it was getting into, you know, go-to and motorised, which is
But then you had the Session AVX and the 8-inch, and you found that very frustrating. And then you thought, sod it. If I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it properly and have the nice kit.
Yeah, I got very frustrated with basically the poor quality of engineering on those. I mean, they're not cheap, but they're just not reliable. You know, you get some people who are fine with them and have no problems on the forums, and then you get other people like me who are having all sorts of issues with it not tracking, or every bit was fine and then it would skip and jump, and you know, I took them all to bits and I did all the bearings again, and and yeah, in the end you just have to pay a lot of money for something that really works, which is a bit frustrating, really.
But it's certainly been flawless, hasn't it? You've had no issues with this at all.
No, it's perfect. It is perfect. So, but they are a lot of money.
You pays your money, you takes your choice,
yeah, then
don't
you start adding up what you've spent on all the bits and pieces.
And I didn't realise when you wanted to buy a new counterweight, they're special counterweights, aren't they? And they've got special engineering features on.
Stainless steel and all that, and really, really expensive as a counterweight. But yeah,
It does the job, doesn't it?
that's what you get. But no, they're very good.
So if you had a perfectly clear sky, I presume you don't want a moon in the sky at all.
No.
And it's nice and evening, and you've got your glass of wine, and everyone's gone to bed and turned the lights off. What would you be looking at tonight then? And I say that because it's all grey and cloudy at the moment.
I don't know. I just like. At the moment, I'm playing around with the image stacking, so the electronically assisted.
Oh, the live stacking?
Yeah,
and
so
you
the
can
live
see it
stacking.
on the monitor screen.
The SkyX does it really well, and SharpCap does it. Planetary nebula.
Excuse me a second. So you didn't have a problem with security around here then?
No, not all those two. Making enough noise. No, it just depends. I mean, frankly, it'll be whatever is over there.
So whatever's well placed.
Yeah. And whatever's interesting. But
So I do remember when I came over, was it in the autumn or the winter, when we were looking, no, it must have been in the autumn then, when we were looking at the Dumbbell Nebula.
yeah. Yeah,
And
that
you
was
had
the
it up and it just slowly appeared and got better and better as the
that was
images
the
started.
first sort of the SkyX sort of live stacking, and that just appeared. That was, I think they were 30-second exposures, and the first one was there. It was also quite good because initially, when I tried it, I could see that the tracking wasn't quite right because you were getting trails. So then did more T-pointing, got that nailed, and then after that, it stacks perfectly. It's only a rough kind of stretch. It's not particularly elegant. It's not PixInsight quality in hours, but it just gives you something in your face which is more than you can see with your eyeballs, and it's quite impressive.
That was really impressive, wasn't it? All the colours came out and all the little
it wasn't bad
tendrils.
for like a minute long
Yeah.
2 exposure stack. It was great.
And now the dogs are having a fight with each other now, aren't they?
Yeah. So yeah, the thing about this one now is I need to do the get the flats going, because I was using a little A4 panel for the 8-inch, which is too small for that thing.
Oh, your flat panel was too small
so
for
I've got to
it.
come up with a new way of doing that.
You hang a white t-shirt over, or a nice grey cloudy day
I
pointed
did
at the
try
sky?
that, yeah. But again, that's something else I've just got to get better at.
So I like your approach to astronomy, because you just get out there and do it, and you enjoy it. And I see so many other people who get just frustrated with it, whereas you seem to come out night after night after night, clear night after clear night, and enjoy it, which seems to be...
it's fun. You always learn something. I mean, even if you just come out and do the T-pointing. I mean, I managed to get one of the calibration sets, and somehow I managed to kill it and lose it, trying to add a few more. which is a bit frustrating, but hey ho, I now know how to do it a bit better and quicker.
Gotcha.
And the polar alignment, you know, the first time with the Pole Master was good, but not perfect, and then you come and do it again. Or,
Oh, thanks for the hint. I will get that back to you.
yeah. Yeah, and you just live and learn. It's good. Everything's
Brilliant. Okay, well,
and
good luck.
yeah, there's always someone out there who's much better than you, and you just, you know, look at what they do and get inspired.
Oh, lovely. Oh, well, thanks for showing us around, Lawrence. And say good luck tearing it all down, and
Yeah.
we'll look forward to seeing it when it's back
In
up
the
in
new-
its new home.
In the new home, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Mark. Thank you.
Cool. Brilliant. Cheers, buddy.
Cheers. I've got
You've
web-
got a spider in your
I've
spider,
got
haven't
web
you?
down there, yeah, so have to be cleaned out. It's ostrich feathers, so it's really, really soft. But once you've got them in, they're an utter nightmare.
The chap I bought the C11 from, he'd had to send his away because he got a slug inside it.
Oh no.
And it left like a big sluggy, smeary mess inside the corrector plates.
Actually, what I need to do is make sure that we're lined up.
Can we do an open as well?
Have I just put it down?
It's some people, eh? Oh, I missed it. Sorry, I wasn't. Do that again, would you? No, won't you?
It is a bit heavy actually, and you've got to catch it when it flips.
Oh, what, when the weight suddenly comes down?
Yeah, and yeah, there's definitely a weight transfer, and you've got to get used to it.
So my thanks to Lawrence for his time recording this video and showing us around his wonderful setup. Remember, if anyone can help reaching out to Google, sorting out this ad revenue, then please do let me know or ping Google directly on the socials. In the meantime, we're getting some solar equipment ready for testing, so don't forget to subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.